Good day. We're here again, and I'm glad to be here. I'm really praying for you and asking God to make all of this useful. That's my purpose for being here. And so let's get right to that wisdom. Wisdom is part 3 of this forgiveness tool we've been putting together. The last part of the main part of this tool, and we'll be going into other things over time, but the last part of the main part is we forgive we. Now, why do we do that? Well, again, we wear hats. Mama hat, dad a hat, son, brother, sister, mother, worker, administrator. All of those are hats in a sense. So we have to forgive those hats that we are sometimes when they make error, and they do. We have to forgive ourselves, in other words. That's what we forgive we forgive we forgive we forgive we forgive we forgive we. Yeah, there we are. A beautiful release. And it'll come for you too, like that. So just think, you're forgiving yourself, the final part of the puzzle. There's some add-ons to this. We'll get to them as we move along. We'll come to them as God opens them for to be recorded. So this one is we forgive we. And you've seen the pattern. Say it 3 times, let it rest a little, say it again, keep saying until something happens. Mine's a yawn. What yours will be, we do not know. But we do know that you will release and feel better, and that is what matters. So let's move on to that story, because we have a person there now named Jelly Reed, and he's there to help. Looks like a mountaineer, according to the lady talking. So over the next few days, Jelly Reed stays and sets up camp in a big old tent in the end. One of those tents that looks like it's been patched way too many times, yet still somehow functions. Horse runs around, seems to be part pet, part horse. Could be that way. Pack horses that he had, that, of course, are pulled into duty, pulling logs. Now with pulleys and with grit, they get the logs in place, finally to the right height. At least Jelly Reed says, that's the way we built it last time. Wonder what happened to that. Should still be here. Odd. Nonetheless, they'll help your family build here a couple of times. Now it's you. She also learned things from Jelly Reed that she would require later. Some messy things, like how to work with an animal so that she could have food from that animal, and also the skin of the animal to use for her as well. Also, she'll be able to sell some when she gets better. Right now, well, strips are good for things. She's learning and growing a lot. Jelly Reed is teaching her a lot. Not just about mountaineering or living up in the bush or how to survive up here, but also about God, things she hadn't heard before. We talked about everything being exactly where it was supposed to be, and God put it there for you so that you could follow that tree, like the book said. Again, there's those interesting words of God pre-planning everything. Is that true? That star up there is something I see because I'm meant to see it, and it brings me pleasure because God put it there. Could God be that amazing? Well, he is omnipotent, all powerful. Always been. I guess he could, she said. To herself, kind of muttering, and Jelly Reed said, "You say something?" Just thanking God for the stars, she said. And so the building started to go into place. Logs got high enough, he started to show her how to set the timbers for a loft and then how to put the roof on. Now there had to be some angels involved, she said. I've seen things float in the air that, well, they shouldn't have, but they did. And within a month and a half, I had a refuge, a sanctuary. Well, at least the wood and the stuff was in place and taught me to build a stone stove. Yes, stone stove. I've never done one of those. I've never seen one of those. But this place required one. He also taught me to build an altar. Yes, an altar to God. That's an old-fashioned thing from the Old Testament. We don't do that anymore, do we? He said, yes, we do. And he explained why. She muttered to herself, I'll have to write that down. So there were certain things put in place, a fireplace at the other end. Seemed to be a bit of a blacksmith, and he made hooks for big old pots for trade for some of those better skins from some of those rabbits and things that she had learned to hunt and catch. He gave her a few more pots. And just like that, he was off. He said, well, I'm off to the next place, to the next thing, to the next adventure that God has for me. I'll be back to check on you, make sure you're still living well. Got much to learn here, girl. It was nice meeting another one of yous, another one of your family. And off went Jelly Reed. Let's leave it there. No, that one might be a bit short, but there's a lot there, so you might want to listen to it a couple of times. Let's go to the blessing. May God bless you fully and completely as God wishes to bless you, as he wishes to paint your life into beautiful hues of joy and peace and hope and abundance and overflow. May he also paint those intimate moments just for you and him, the one that created everything, that one we call God, and his will and wish, according to your will and wish, this can be. So let's have a prayer. We come before you, Father, Spirit, Son, and we are so eternally grateful that you are with us for every moment, that you have a plan and a purpose. It's amazing to think that you created a star for us to see so that we would have pleasure. That's what the story says. Is that true? Feels true to me. Kind of startling to think that God is that much of a planner. Yet, I do believe he is. So whatever these amazing people are going through, their sorrows, their joys, their ups, their downs, their peace, their war, their being understood, being misunderstood, and everything in between, we ask you to intervene, show up, and be present in their life as much as they allow. And that you would push back the enemy to give them rest when necessary and teach them the valuable lessons that are necessary to bring them closer to you. We thank you for all things, and we say thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude, thankful, grateful, gratitude. Standing in awe and honor, respect, allowing all glory to flow. Father, Spirit, Son. Now, just before I go taking off, I've realized that I'm having some issues with my website. So let's just go with an email that should be quite simple to remember. My name, Eric, at starthealing.me. That's Eric at starthealing.me. Eric at starthealing.me. If you wish to connect to me for any reason, I do have a Patreon. I'm working on it. I just basically have a simple one right now, but it will get more interesting. If you did reach out and say, I want your Patreon, I'll give it to you. If you just wish to chat, I'll give you a free chat for half an hour. Just you and me. If you have some other questions that you just want to leave behind, that's great. Love questions. We'll work with God to answer them. One more time, that's Eric at starthealing.me. So, may you rest, and when you rest, rest well. When you wake, wake well, and know that your path is well lit by God. Blessings.